My name is CarolynOliver. I'm going to be reading two poems from the Illinote Review's new Parents issue. My son tells me he loves me like the stars. Wonder is what I try to save of faith, what I hold out for him to take. Inchworms and whirligigs, geodes and oyster shells, icicles and lemons and postage stamps. I wanted to give him the galaxy, since even on the coldest moon-dim nights I can't place a single constellation, my pains to parse dimension and distance always fruitless. So we resolved to drive through Shenandoah, away from sunset's city shine. The road unwound like a strand of pitted pearls slipped over knolls and drops our headlights barely touched. We stopped to wait for our eyes to remember dark. Because he'd read the trailhead warnings, bears abroad and gorging, he scanned out, not up, scouring the hillside woods for a shadow, shifting against the breeze, and meantime twitched at each new peeper's bleat. Idly I swirled his thistledowny hair and, expecting the sea spray shock I once saw splashed across another country's night, I almost missed a film barely risen to the surface of the sky, like a scrap of cloud or mist, except for its seeming stillness. A scrap of cloud it could have been, for all the boy beside me cared, too fixed on bears and moths and surely rabid bats to be impressed by luminous mysteries. Blue giants and supernovas, binary systems devoured and devouring, pulsars and teeming nurseries. And somewhere in the arc of dust swept overhead, life swimming, perhaps, in its orbit, a star, a cool red dwarf with fuel enough to burn until the heat death of the universe comes, a star that will outlive all the others. So I might have preached. But he needed sleep, and night would likely knot the homeward miles. Dreaming against the window, he didn't see the bear cub stumble off the road in time. Silver-struck eyes bewildered by the light we couldn't help but spill ahead of us. The second poem I'll read is called Tenebrism, and it's after Francisco de Zurbaran's Christ and the Virgin in the House at Nazareth, which is an oil-on canvas around 1640 and is in the Cleveland Museum of Art. Tenebrism. Our Lady of the worry-wearied world, your broken face is stained the same wan red as your stiff silk dress and the blown roses someone sent, as if you need some token reminder of your own grace. You, plagued by its surfeit, asked to swill from a chalice exhaustion never drains. Under your robes your hips are braced sciatica wide, while your head rests on a wrist thick with sorrow's swell. Your bones ache with the weight of a child who sways toward an end you can't escape. This is what it means to be full of faith. You are so spent with knowing, so tired that in the needle's steady bite and drag, you lose track of days, weeks. The sky always smokestorm through this window chiseled out of stone, so tired you're resigned, almost, to the languid celestial light that uninvited descends on your son, its careless spill gilding the fruit you chose for him, the drawer he's forgotten to close again, books bought with the work of your hands. These stupid pooty pull the dark away like a curtain, as if your life's a stage, as if the shadow isn't real, as if every hour here is not an hour of death. Bodiless, what can they know of your fear? What could they possibly know of your pain? But you're powerless against all of it. Light, shadow, how he only runs at dusk, his sandals loose over the sharpest rocks, how he's been painted mostly wrong, too pale and vague, shrunken adult instead of a boy. Heedless of your silent tears, the reproach of his mending, endless, heaped at your feet. This boy draped in blameless blue ignores lilies for thorns, plays at weaving a crown just for you. Bleeds. Your knees wore out years ago. You know begging is useless, that even if you could reach up and snatch the weightless halo above your head, tear it in pieces to bind his hopeless hurt, even if you could dash this bitter cup from your lips, unstitch time, unsay the word to undo what was done unto you, yes, even then, you would still be a mother, with cold floors to scrub, Pigeons to strangle and roast for supper, best bowl to keep full for strays that pace just out of frame. Their tongues, they're swollen, speechless, desperate for grace.